My name is Joe Wehinger. This is Daily Ovation. Thank you for watching. In this episode, Jim Clarke walks us through some more wines, and he helps pair them with the food as we learn more about the wines, the culture, the background, the history.
From 1685, this is Boschendal. They are in an area called Franschhoek, which is means French corner, actually, and it goes back to the 1680s when a bunch of French immigrants arrived to the Western Cape, and the Dutch who had settled there said, "Yes, you're welcome here because you're fleeing persecution because you're Protestants, and we're Protestants too. So welcome. We'll give you this valley to settle in." And Franschhoek means French corner, and you'll still see this in a lot of the personal and family names today. The Boschendal property again has this beautiful Cape Dutch architecture. This wine, however, is not from Franschhoek. What they've done is they're exploring another new area. This isn't an area where there were vineyards and then they were kind of neglected or forgotten. These are really pretty much literally new. Up until 1992, there was a big cooperative called KWV. They were actually kind of an umbrella of different cooperatives. And they were formed in 1918 to ensure that the farmers would have a place to sell their grapes. World War I had caused a depression in South Africa, so times were hard, and this was a way of kind of giving the farmers a security blanket. It worked very well, and in fact, starting in 1924, the government started devolving regulatory power onto KWV. And KWV could regulate what you could plant, where you could plant it, how much you'd be paid for it, all those sorts of things. However, because they were really deeply involved with that sort of bulk wine style, they kind of favored conditions that were easy rather than... But I just want to show you more wines, and these are, I think, the wines that's important for you to know about in terms of South Africa, which is Cabernet-based blends. I already mentioned that South Africa is more inclined to do blends than other New World countries, and I think these are two wonderful examples. They're both from Stellenbosch, again, the center of the South African wine industry. It has about... To give you an idea, about 180 of South Africa's 560 wineries are based in the Stellenbosch area. The first one is the Younger Winery. It is a Tokara, and they are on an area that's a pass that leads from Stellenbosch over into Franschhoek and Paarl. So higher elevation, and an area that wasn't planted too much until the early 1990s. Not because you weren't allowed, but just people didn't quite realize the value of mountain fruit. It's a similar story that you hear in Napa sometimes. Higher elevation, you get these breezes that go through the pass, so it keeps it from getting too hot, and it really prolongs the ripening time, so really beautiful for Bordeaux varieties, and well, they're also known for Chardonnay up there, actually. This winery goes back to 1994, and originally it was just bought as a personal property, but then when he looked at some of his neighbors who were making great wines, the owner, G.T. Ferrara, decided he needed to get in on that, and they've become one of the most highly regarded producers in South Africa. This and the other red are both about 2/3 Cabernet Sauvignon, and then the rest is your typical Bordeaux varieties. This one, I believe, is about 20% Petit Verdot, and then the rest Merlot and Malbec, if I remember correctly.